Hey everyone, hope you're having a nice day. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. Normally I like to make my work from imagination mixed with a little bit of reference, but since I'm out of ideas and I want to try and replicate a scene from a movie, I decided to do a Studio Ghibli scene from Spirited Away. I really love the style and I was rewatching the movies and they're so cool, so I wanted to try and translate one of the original backgrounds into 3D. And in the background you're gonna see a time lapse of the whole thing, and I want to talk about some of the progress and some other design stuff along the way. So it's totally fine if you don't want to listen to my voice. I suggest just putting on some good music and watching the video like that. And for those who want to listen to my voice, I promise I won't talk the whole video. Just a little bit of background information. The whole thing was about 30 hours long and I sped it up about 100 times. The time lapse is pretty long, but I wanted to keep it long enough so you can still see what I'm doing, because if it's too fast it doesn't really have a point either. So let's talk a little bit about the progress first. So I was totally out of ideas and so tired of posting on Instagram for likes and followers, so I just wanted to try something different. I was just rewatching Spirited Away and I was like, let's make a cool time lapse remaking one of the scenes and seeing if I can actually do something like that, because I've never really done that. And I chose this particular scene because it had a bunch of buildings in it, and if you follow me somewhere you've probably seen that I love doing these vibrant pastel buildings, and the challenge was to remake this scene and give it my own style. But towards the end I first made everything in the original colors just to be sure that everything looked okay, and then in the end I was gonna change it up, but the file got so heavy that I actually had to split the scene in two parts, with the front and the back, and that made it really hard to change the lighting and make the colors fit together. So I just decided to remake the image and just try to make something new in my style another time, and just keep this one the way it is, because it is actually a good project on its own as well. The progress is a bit of a mess as well. I tried to find some sort of perspective into the image, but unfortunately I couldn't find anything because the buildings were all crooked and stuff. I just tried to find a camera angle that fit almost perfect, and then I had to eyeball all these blocks into the right place to put the buildings correctly. And after that I could just export those buildings into Fusion 360 and add all the details to the buildings. It's not all picture perfect, I just tried to eyeball it and get it as right as I could without wasting too much time. If you're wondering, I love working with Fusion because it's really fast to cut out windows and doors out of buildings, and in this project I use a combination of Cinema 4D modeling and Fusion 360 because some things are just faster and it doesn't really matter to me that I have to export from Fusion. I've used this workflow for a long time, so I'm used to it already. I also had to model some rocks and I put them into ZBrush and gave them some texture. And if you don't know what ZBrush is, it's basically a program where you can sculpt with clay to give objects a more organic look, for example. I'm totally not good at ZBrush, so I only use it for the simple stuff like making rocks. And after doing all the modeling, my plan was to UV unwrap most of these models. UV unwrapping is actually a way to convert your 3D objects into a 2D plane, so I can actually paint on it and place colors and decals and damage exactly where I want them to be. I can do this painting in a program called Substance Painter. It takes a bit of time to unwrap these, so I didn't really unwrap everything in the scene, but just the most important parts like the buildings and some of the boards and the wood and stuff. So yeah. I also put the little spirits in Photoshop like the original. I wanted to do them in 3D, but I think it fit better in 2D, so yeah, I just did that. Alright, that's enough about this project. I'd like to do a little bit of an art talk and talk about how I'm feeling. And to be honest, since I started my Instagram, the main goal has been to gain followers, grow my profile, and grow my name in general. Don't get me wrong, I still did it for fun in the first place, but I've been doing this for almost 5 years and the motivation to get new ideas and post often is just completely gone. In the first years, you could still grow pretty well on Instagram, but now I'm just growing way too slow to make any good progress, and I don't really get any opportunities from it as well. I get shared by big pages and it's fun to do and I get likes and engagement, but I don't really get the opportunities I want from it. And also in life I like to have a general goal, and with this design stuff I feel like I don't really have one. I have this vague goal of getting popular somewhere in the future and I can't really control what I'm doing with that. So I'd love to have some smaller goals to work towards, like making bigger projects or learning to do some animation or expanding my portfolio in some way so I could just do some cool freelance jobs on the side. But this project was already pretty fun for me to do. I don't even care if the result looks nice. I just want to move forward and not look back too much. So if you have any ideas for me to work on or stuff you want me to recreate, let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. I might also dive into some animations and challenge myself, but we'll see about that in the future. For now, I'm just gonna let you enjoy the time lapse, and if you're actually enjoying it, leave a like or subscribe. This really gives me an indication that you'd like to see more of this, and I'd be really happy to do more of these. So I hope to see you guys in the next video, and yeah, take care.
you.